7 touches that will make a mature woman fall deeply in love with you. Psychology tricks. A touch that lasts only a few seconds can release a surge of oxytocin in a woman's brain, the very chemical responsible for bonding and trust. That is not romance talk. That is biology. Yet most men move through life unaware of which physical gestures create connection and which ones silently close the door forever. As the poet Maya Angelou once said, people will never forget how you made them feel. A mature woman lives by that truth. She is not swayed by polished compliments or rehearsed charm. She has heard it all. She has seen the effort. Words no longer move her the way they once did. What reaches her now is something deeper and far more instinctive, intentional touch. Not careless contact. Not theatrical gestures copied from a movie scene. But calm, grounded, deliberate touch that communicates safety, presence, desire, and emotional steadiness without a single sentence spoken. Research from Dr. Dr. Keltner at UC Berkeley demonstrated that human beings can accurately transmit emotions like love, gratitude, and compassion through brief, simple touches alone, with striking accuracy. Think about that. Nearly 80% of emotional meaning delivered without a word. Your voice cannot compete with that level of clarity. This is why some men seem to create connection effortlessly while others overtalk, overexplain, and still hear, "You're such a great friend." It is not about clever lines. It is about how you make her nervous system respond when you are near. And a mature woman, shaped by experience, tuned by disappointment, and refined by self-knowledge, responds on a far deeper level than someone still discovering herself. Before exploring the 7 specific touches that transform attraction into emotional gravity, understand this. The simplest gestures are often the most powerful. Do not underestimate them. 2 of these touches appear almost ordinary, yet women consistently describe them as unforgettable. And the final one is so psychologically effective that relationship therapists regularly recommend it to couples fighting to stay together. This is not manipulation. This is awareness. Learn it. Practice it with intention. Because when you understand how to communicate through touch with confidence and respect, you stop chasing connection and start creating it. 1. The slow lower back guide. The first touch I call the slow lower back guide, and before you dismiss it as ordinary politeness, understand this. Beneath that simple gesture lies powerful science and even more powerful psychology tricks that directly influence female psychology and shape how to fall in love in a mature, grounded way. When you place your hand gently on the small of a woman's back as you guide her through a doorway, through a crowded room, or while standing close beside her, you are not merely being courteous. You are making contact with one of the most nerve-dense areas of her body, a region wired straight into the brain's emotional centers. That is not romance novel fantasy. That is neurology. A slow, steady, warm palm resting there sends a signal that bypasses analysis and goes straight to feeling. But don't rush it. Don't tap her like you are congratulating a teammate. Don't press hard as if steering a machine. Speed and pressure decide everything. A quick pat feels distant. A firm shove feels intrusive. A calm, unhurried placement of your full hand with quiet confidence communicates something entirely different. I am present. I am attentive. I've got you. And her nervous system listens. Her body interprets that steady warmth as safety, and when safety is felt, oxytocin, the bonding hormone, begins to rise. This is where psychology tricks blend seamlessly with female psychology, because attraction for a mature woman is rarely about flash. It is about emotional regulation and grounded presence. She has lived long enough to handle her own burdens. She has solved her own problems. She has been the dependable one for years. So when a man places his hand on her lower back with calm certainty, it does not register as control, it registers as relief. It says, without words, you don't have to hold everything alone in this moment. Be subtle. Be composed. Be intentional. That is how to fall in love in a way that feels earned rather than forced. Many men underestimate this because they chase grand gestures, expensive dinners, dramatic speeches. But mature attraction grows in quiet details. A woman in her 40s once described how a man placed his hand on her back as they entered a restaurant, and, in that instant, she felt something awaken that had been dormant for years. Not because of the restaurant, not because of the crowd, because she felt chosen. That is the word, chosen. And being chosen is deeply wired into female psychology. When your touch is slow and steady, you create a micro moment of exclusivity, a small protective bubble around the two of you. Don't overdo it. Don't linger awkwardly. Let it be natural, 2 or 3 seconds, then release. The power lies in restraint. The Stoic philosopher Epictetus taught that mastery begins with self-control, and nowhere is that more true than in touch. If your movements are rushed, your mind is rushed. If your touch is calm, your presence feels calm. Women sense that, especially mature women. They read energy faster than words. They notice tension in your shoulders, hesitation in your fingers, confidence in your posture. So you must regulate yourself first. Slow your breathing. Relax your shoulders. Then guide her gently. That is how psychology tricks become authentic rather than manipulative. They align with genuine emotional steadiness. And understand this clearly. The lower back guide is not about physical contact alone. It is about signaling leadership without arrogance, protection without pressure, closeness without invasion. That balance is rare. That balance is magnetic. In modern life, where everyone is distracted by phones and noise, a composed man who moves deliberately stands out immediately. You must remember, attraction at this stage of life is less about sparks and more about serenity. She is not searching for chaos. She is searching for peace she can trust. When your hand rests at her lower back with warmth and certainty, you are telling her nervous system, "You are safe with me." That message is foundational in how to fall in love deeply and sustainably. Repeat this in your mind. Slow, steady, warm. Slow, steady, warm. Let that rhythm guide you. Don't perform the gesture mechanically. Feel it. Mean it. Because authenticity amplifies every psychology trick you use. In female psychology, consistency builds attraction faster than intensity. One grounded gesture repeated naturally over time builds more emotional weight than dramatic theatrics. So the next time you walk beside her, don't rush ahead. Stay aligned with her pace. Place your hand gently at her lower back. Guide, don't push. Lead, don't dominate. Release with calm confidence. Then continue the conversation as if nothing extraordinary happened, because to an outside observer, nothing did. But internally, something shifted. She felt supported. She felt seen. She felt chosen. And when a mature woman begins to associate your presence with calm and protection, you are no longer competing for attention. You are becoming the emotional home she didn't realize she was missing. 2. The two-handed handhold. The second touch is the two-handed handhold. And this one is criminally underrated. Most people hold hands. That is not special. Teenagers hold hands at the mall. That is casual. That is expected. What I am talking about is different. This is when you take her hand and then bring your other hand over to cradle it. Both of your hands holding one of hers. Not rushed. Not absent-minded. Intentional. Maybe during a conversation. Maybe during a quiet moment. Maybe right after she has just told you something vulnerable and real. You must understand the difference. One hand says, "I like you." Two hands say, "I am here." That is a completely different message. This touch works because of something called bilateral stimulation. When both of your hands are engaged and holding hers, it creates symmetrical sensory input that her brain interprets as full attention and emotional presence. Therapists use bilateral touch techniques in EMDR therapy to help people process emotional trauma. That is not random. That is science. So when you hold her hand with both of yours, you are literally giving her nervous system a signal that says, "You are safe here. I am fully present." And safety is everything to a mature woman. Do not underestimate that. Attraction may spark with chemistry, but love settles where there is safety. A mature woman has lived. She has loved. She has been disappointed. She has sat across from men who nodded while secretly scrolling through their phones under the table. She has listened to responses from someone whose mind was miles away. Their body was at the dinner table, but their thoughts were on work, on notifications, on anything but her. She has felt the loneliness of being physically next to someone yet emotionally alone. That is exhausting. So when you hold her hand with both of yours and look at her while she is speaking, you are giving her something she may have stopped believing existed. Full, undivided, embodied attention. That is rare. And rarity creates value. If you want to be a high-value man, start here. Not with flashy gestures. Not with expensive dinners. Be present. Be still. Be focused. Masculine energy is not noise. It is grounded presence. When your hands cradle hers and your eyes stay on her face, your body is saying, I choose this moment. I choose you. Do not rush to fill the silence. Let it breathe. Let her feel the steadiness in you. A high-value man does not fidget. He anchors. The contrast alone is what makes this so powerful. She has had years of half-hearted affection, quick squeezes, distracted hugs, mechanical touches. When she suddenly feels both of your hands wrapped around hers with warmth and intention, her brain reacts. It notices the difference immediately. Her nervous system softens. Her shoulders relax. Her voice slows down. Her mind registers, this one is different. And once a mature woman's brain decides you are different, the game changes. You do not compete with other men anymore. You become the standard. Do not treat this like a trick. That is a mistake. Women, especially mature women, sense authenticity instantly. If your mind is elsewhere, your touch will feel hollow. You must align your body and your intention. When she shares something vulnerable, do not interrupt. Do not jump into problem-solving mode. Hold her hand with both of yours. Slight pressure. Steady warmth. Eye contact. That is it. Let her finish. Let her feel heard. In that moment, you are not trying to impress her. You are creating emotional gravity, and emotional gravity is what makes her fall. To attract women at a deeper level, you have to understand this. They are not moved by surface gestures alone. They are moved by emotional safety and consistency. Masculine energy, when healthy, feels protective without being controlling, steady without being rigid. The two-handed handhold embodies that balance. It says strength and gentleness at the same time. It says, I can hold you and I can hold myself. That combination is magnetic. Be intentional about when you use it. During a serious conversation, after she shares a fear, when she talks about her past, even during a peaceful walk when the world feels quiet. Do not overuse it. Scarcity increases impact. When you do it, mean it. When you do it, slow down. When you do it, lock in. That is how a high-value man separates himself from boys who simply mimic affection without depth. And here is the deeper truth. The power is not just in the physical contact. It is in the message beneath it. I am not distracted. I am not rushing. I am not halfway here. In a world addicted to speed and screams, sustained attention feels almost revolutionary. That is why this works so profoundly. You are giving her a moment that feels sacred. Not because it is dramatic, but because it is rare. If you want to attract women who are emotionally intelligent and experienced, do not rely on charm alone. Build presence. Build steadiness. Let your masculine energy be calm, not chaotic. The two-handed handhold is simple, but simple does not mean small. Used correctly, it becomes unforgettable. And when she feels that difference, when her mind quietly whispers, he is not like the others, you have already stepped into the position of a high-value man. From there, love does not feel forced. It unfolds naturally. If you understand what this really means, then you already know this is not about holding hands. It is about holding space, holding presence, holding her world and yours without distraction. Don't be the man who touches casually. Be the man who touches with intention. When you wrap both of your hands around hers and look her in the eyes, you are telling her nervous system you are safe. I am here. I choose this moment. That is rare. That is powerful. That is unforgettable. So if you are ready to be the man who gives full attention instead of half-effort affection, drop this in the comments right now. I give presents, not pieces. Like this video, subscribe for more unshakable wisdom, and remember, attention is attraction. Presence is power. 3. The forehead touch. The third touch, the one most men overlook and most mature women never expect, is the forehead touch. Not a quick kiss, not a dramatic gesture, just the simple act of gently pressing your forehead against hers. Eyes closing naturally, breath sinking without effort, the noise of the world fading into the background. Do not underestimate this, because in that quiet contact, you are activating something ancient in the human nervous system. As Sue Johnson explains in her work on emotionally focused therapy, bonding moments are small interactions that awaken the attachment system in adults, just as a mother's touch calms an infant. And when you place your forehead against hers, without agenda, without rush, without trying to escalate, you create one of the most powerful bonding moments two adults can experience. Because this touch requires closeness, and closeness requires courage. And courage is rare in a world where everyone hides behind phones, sarcasm, and emotional distance. A mature woman has lived. She has loved. She has been disappointed. She has built composure and standards. She does not fall for noise. She falls for presence. And when you slow down enough to rest your forehead against hers, you are saying, without words, I am steady. I am here. I am not performing. And that steadiness is magnetic. Marcus Aurelius wrote in Meditations, waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one. This is what being one looks like in modern love. Calm contact, grounded energy, controlled strength, an iron mind that does not rush to prove itself. Understand this clearly. Attraction at this stage of life is not about fireworks. It is about safety. It is about emotional reliability. It is about a man whose nervous system does not spike at intimacy, but settles into it. When your breathing synchronizes and your foreheads touch, her body reads stability. Her mind reads sincerity. Her heart reads alignment. Do not joke to break the tension. Do not pull away too quickly. Do not turn it into something physical before the moment has done its work. Because the power is in the pause. The power is in the restraint. The power is in the fact that you could escalate, but you choose to remain present instead. That is Old Stoic wisdom in action. Men between 35 and 70, listen carefully. You are no longer competing with boys. You are not trying to impress with speed or flash. You are building connection with depth. And depth is created in silence more than in speech. When you master this, you communicate emotional intelligence without announcing it. You demonstrate leadership without controlling. You show desire without pressure. As Lao Tzu said, mastering others is strength. Mastering yourself is true power. Self-mastery is what makes this gesture transformative rather than awkward. In a modern world addicted to distraction, the man who can slow down and create a still moment stands out immediately. Because stillness signals confidence. Confidence signals security. And security is what allows a mature woman to lower defenses she did not even realize were still active. This is not manipulation. This is alignment. This is understanding psychology and applying it with integrity. It is a reminder that real influence comes from character, not tactics. Remember this. Love at this level is not triggered by intensity. It is awakened by steadiness. It is not ignited by pressure. It is invited by presence. And the forehead touch is a quiet invitation into emotional closeness. It says, you are strong enough to be gentle. You are disciplined enough to be patient. Repeat that to yourself. Strong enough to be gentle. Disciplined enough to be patient. That is the mindset that separates men who chase from men who attract. The next time you approach her, slow your breathing. Hold her gaze. Step in gradually. Let your foreheads meet naturally. Close your eyes. And allow the silence to speak. Because in that silence, you are communicating safety, maturity, and intention all at once. And a mature woman does not forget how she feels in a man's presence. She remembers the calm. She remembers the grounded energy. She remembers the moment the world went quiet and she felt understood without explanation. And that memory becomes attachment. This is how you win without force. This is how you lead without demanding. This is how you build love that is deep rather than dramatic. When a man masters himself so completely, even a simple touch can carry intention, clarity, and quiet power. 4. The back of the neck touch. The fourth touch, the back of the neck touch, is so powerful that many men misuse it or ignore it entirely. And that is a mistake you must not make if you truly want to understand female psychology and master the kind of psychology tricks that build real attachment rather than surface attraction. The nape of a woman's neck is one of the most sensitive and unguarded areas of her body, rich with nerve endings and impossible for her to monitor visually, which means when you place your hand there gently, deliberately, and calmly, her brain immediately shifts into evaluation mode. Am I safe? Do I trust him? Does this feel right? That is the silent test happening beneath the surface. Most men think attraction is loud and obvious. It is not. It is neurological. It is chemical. It is subtle. When your fingers rest lightly at the back of her neck while you are sitting beside her, or when you lean in and guide her gently with a steady palm as you speak softly into her ear, you create a rare dual response, arousal and trust at the same time. Most touches spark one or the other. This one does both. That is why it works. Dopamine rises. Oxytocin follows. These are not random reactions. They are the very chemicals responsible for bonding and romantic attachment, the same internal process that explains how to fall in love in a biological sense. But do not misunderstand this. The power is not in the contact alone. The power is in the context. A mature woman does not respond to impulsive, careless gestures. She reads meaning. She measures intention. When you touch the back of her neck with calm confidence, without squeezing, without urgency, without claiming ownership, you communicate something refined, confidence without force, desire without neediness, closeness without presumption. Be controlled. Be intentional. Be steady. That is what separates a man who understands psychology tricks from a man who simply reaches out hoping for magic. A younger woman may not consciously interpret the depth of this signal, but a mature woman will. She has lived. She has experienced both rushed hands and respectful ones. She knows the difference immediately. And here is the truth you must accept. If trust has not been built, this touch will fail. Timing is everything. Do not attempt this with someone you just met. Do not skip emotional groundwork. That is not bold. That is careless. The back of the neck touch is not an opening move. It is a progression. It comes after laughter has been shared, after eye contact has deepened, after subtle alignment has already formed. In female psychology, safety always precedes surrender. If she feels safe, her body relaxes. When her body relaxes, her breathing slows. When her breathing slows, her emotional walls soften. This is the sequence. Miss the sequence and you lose the moment. Respect the sequence and you create an experience she will remember. The man who understands how to fall in love with maturity knows that attraction is not about speed, it is about calibration. Slow is powerful. Calm is powerful. Measured is powerful. When your palm rests at the nape of her neck during a quiet moment and she leans subtly into your touch rather than away from it, that is your confirmation. That is her nervous system saying yes. Do not overdo it. Do not linger awkwardly. A few seconds is enough. Remove your hand first. That shows control. Control creates safety. Safety fuels attachment. And attachment, when nurtured correctly, deepens into love. Remember this clearly. The back of the neck touch is sophisticated because it requires emotional intelligence. It demands awareness. It demands restraint. You must read her body language before and after. Does she tilt toward you? Does her voice soften? Does she maintain proximity? These are green lights. If she stiffens, pulls away, or becomes distant, you step back immediately. That is respect. Respect builds trust. Trust builds connection. Connection builds love. Men who ignore these nuances remain confused about why sparks fade. Men who master them move differently. They create atmosphere instead of chasing reaction. They understand that the most effective psychology tricks are not tricks at all, but calibrated behaviors rooted in emotional awareness. In the world of mature relationships, subtlety wins. Precision wins. Emotional steadiness wins. And when you apply this correctly, you will not need exaggerated gestures or dramatic declarations. A simple, well-timed touch at the back of her neck can communicate more than paragraphs ever could. Use it wisely. Use it patiently. Use it only when the foundation is already there. That is how you elevate attraction into attachment. That is how you align chemistry with trust. And that is how to fall in love in a way that feels natural, mutual, and lasting. If you understand the power of timing, trust, and confident restraint, then don't just watch, act. A mature woman does not fall for force. She responds to awareness. She feels safety before desire. She trusts before attachment. The back of the neck touch is not a shortcut. It is a signal that you know how to lead without pressure, how to desire without chasing, how to move with precision instead of impulse. That is rare. That is attractive. That is powerful. If this opened your eyes, like the video, subscribe for more psychological mastery, and drop this sentence in the comments to lock it into your mind. Trust first. Timing second. Touch with intention. 5. The thumb stroke. Touch number 5 is the one I mentioned at the beginning, the one that feels almost unfair in how powerful it is. It is the thumb stroke. And before you dismiss it as something small or insignificant, understand this. Small does not mean meaningless. Small, when done with intention and calm confidence, becomes unforgettable. The thumb stroke happens when you are already holding her hand, or when your hand is resting naturally on her arm, her shoulder, or her knee. You are not grabbing. You are not claiming. You are simply there. And then, without drawing attention to it, your thumb slowly moves back and forth against her skin. Small, slow, rhythmic. You do not announce it. You do not look down at your hand. You do not smirk. You continue the conversation as if nothing special is happening. That is the power. This works because of a specific class of nerve fibers called C-tactile afferents. These nerves respond to slow, gentle stroking touch and are directly wired to the parts of the brain that process emotional connection and social bonding. Researchers at the University of Gothenburg in Sweden found that this kind of slow stroking activates the insular cortex, the brain region responsible for feelings of intimacy and emotional closeness. In simple terms, when your thumb moves slowly across her skin, you are activating the very area of her brain that says, "I feel safe. I feel connected. I feel close." That is not theory. That is biology. And because it is subtle, she may not consciously register what you are doing. But her nervous system does. Her body does. Her emotions do. She begins to associate your presence with calm warmth. She begins to relax around you without knowing why. And this is where most men fail. They try too hard. They rush. They overdo. They think attraction is built through spectacle. It is not. It is built through steady, grounded, masculine energy. A high-value man understands that connection grows in the quiet spaces, not in the noise. A mature woman especially feels the difference. She has lived. She has loved. She has experienced relationships where affection was performative, forced, or completely absent. When she feels that absent-minded thumb stroke while you are discussing something ordinary, work, family, a story from your past, she thinks, "He is not trying to impress me. This is just who he is." And that belief is powerful. Effortless tenderness signals security. Security creates emotional openness. Emotional openness builds attachment. Do not rush it. Do not turn it into a technique you deploy like a trick. Be present. That is the rule. If you are tense, she will feel it. If you are calculating, she will sense it. The thumb stroke only works when it comes from a grounded place. That is why developing yourself matters. That is why becoming a high-value man is not about money or status. It is about emotional control, patience, and self-assured masculine energy. When you are calm inside, your touch is calm. When you are centered, your touch communicates stability. Understand the contrast. A fast, distracted touch feels anxious. A tight grip feels insecure. An exaggerated caress feels theatrical. Slow, gentle, rhythmic movement feels intimate. That is what you must master. Slow down. Lower your voice. Hold eye contact naturally. Let your thumb move as if it has nowhere else to be. This is how you attract women without chasing them. You create an experience of ease. You create a moment where her guard lowers without effort. And here is something deeper. The thumb stroke is not just about her. It is about who you become in the process. When you practice slow, intentional touch, you train yourself to be patient. You train yourself to be aware. You train yourself to lead emotionally without pressure. That is masculine energy at its best, steady, grounded, unshaken. Do not confuse intensity with depth. Depth is quiet. Depth is controlled. Many men over 35 believe they must compete with youth, with flash, with loud displays of confidence. That is a mistake. Maturity wins through presence. A high-value man in his 40s, 50s, or 60s who understands emotional pacing will outshine a younger man who moves too fast. Why? Because a mature woman is not looking for chaos. She is looking for calm strength. She is looking for a man whose touch feels like home, not like a performance. The thumb stroke, when done naturally, communicates three things at once. I am comfortable with you. I am comfortable with myself. I am not in a hurry. That combination is magnetic. It allows her to lean in emotionally. It invites closeness without demanding it. And when a woman feels invited rather than pressured, she chooses to move closer on her own. That is the difference between chasing and attracting. If you want to attract women consistently, focus on how she feels in your presence, not on how you appear. Remember this. Grand gestures fade. Expensive gifts are remembered briefly. But the way you made her feel in quiet moments, that stays. The unconscious, gentle movement of your thumb while you are both talking about something completely ordinary can anchor you in her emotional memory. It becomes associated with warmth, safety, and subtle desire. And that is what love often feels like to a mature woman who has experienced enough of life to recognize sincerity when she feels it. So do not underestimate simplicity. Do not overcomplicate connection. Be steady. Be aware. Be intentional. Cultivate your masculine energy. Build yourself into a high-value man from the inside out. Then let your touch reflect that inner stability. Small movement, slow rhythm, calm presence. That is how something almost invisible becomes unforgettable. 6. The silent pull. The sixth touch is what I call the silent pull. And if you understand it correctly, you will realize it is not about technique, it is about presence, it is about certainty, it is about the quiet authority of a man who knows what he feels and is not afraid to express it through calm action. You are sitting beside her or standing next to her, and without a speech, without asking permission in a hesitant tone, without turning it into a performance, you simply place your arm around her shoulder or your hand at her waist and draw her gently closer, closing the space as if the distance itself offended you. You say nothing because you do not need to say anything. Your movement says it all. I want you here, closer, now. In attachment psychology, this reflects what researchers call proximity seeking, one of the core behaviors of secure bonding. And a mature woman recognizes this instinctively because security is not loud, it is not dramatic, it is steady. As the Old Stoic wisdom reminds us, waste no more time arguing what a good man should be one. Marcus Aurelius, do not announce your desire for closeness, demonstrate it calmly. Because Stoicism is not emotional coldness, it is controlled strength and iron mind guiding warm action. Understand something crucial about women over 35 or 40. Many of them have lived through relationships where closeness felt conditional, where affection had to be earned, negotiated, or timed, where physical touch appeared only when the other person wanted something in return. Over time, that creates a silent narrative inside her that says, I must perform to be held. I must qualify to be chosen. I must offer value to deserve nearness. When you pull her closer without an agenda, without escalation, without turning it into a transaction, you quietly destroy that old script. You replace it with a new message. Your presence is enough. The space between us felt wrong. I prefer you near me. That is powerful. That is rare. That is unforgettable. Modern life has trained people to over-communicate through screens and under-communicate through touch. Men send long texts, clever emojis, strategic compliments, but they hesitate in real moments. And hesitation kills polarity. Hesitation signals uncertainty, and uncertainty does not build safety. The silent pull is different. It is decisive yet gentle, firm yet respectful. And that combination is magnetic to a mature woman, because she has no interest in boys who fidget emotionally. She is drawn to a man whose nervous system is calm, whose movements are intentional, whose touch feels grounded. As Epictetus taught, first say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do. If you want to be the man she feels safe with, then act like the man who is not afraid of closeness. Reduce the distance. Close the gap. Do it naturally. Do it without drama. And here is the deeper truth. When you pull her in silently, you are not just moving her body, you are anchoring her emotions. The human brain links physical proximity with emotional security. Oxytocin rises, defenses soften, breathing synchronizes. And in that small, quiet moment, her body begins to associate you with comfort and protection, not because you claimed it, but because you embodied it. That is how attraction matures into attachment. That is how chemistry turns into connection. Do not overdo it. Do not force it. The silent pull must feel organic, aligned with the moment, calibrated to her receptiveness. Stoic discipline means reading the room, sensing her openness, acting with precision. An iron mind does not rush. It does not grasp. It does not cling. It simply decides and executes smoothly. And when you do this during an ordinary moment, while watching a movie, waiting in line, or standing on a balcony overlooking the city lights, you elevate the ordinary into something intimate. Because you communicate, without a speech, that her nearness improves your experience of the world. Mature love is not built on fireworks every night. It is built on repeated signals of chosen closeness. Repeat that in your mind. Chosen closeness. Not demanded. Not negotiated. Chosen. You choose her proximity. You prefer her by your side. You act accordingly. In a world where many people feel replaceable, that quiet preference is intoxicating. The silent pull tells her she is not being evaluated, she is being welcomed. She is not auditioning, she is already cast. She does not have to earn the moment. She is the moment. If you want to master love in your later years, stop chasing grand gestures and master subtle certainty. The man who controls himself controls the frame, and the man who controls the frame shapes the emotional climate. Stoic wisdom teaches mastery of the inner world first, and from that mastery flows calm action, becoming the study center in any storm. Sometimes that study center is expressed through nothing more than a simple, decisive pull. Close the distance. Do it calmly. Do it intentionally. Let your actions speak before your mouth does. That is how you lead without force. That is how you build love without begging for it. That is how you win. If you understand the power of the silent pull, then you understand this. Love is not built with noise. It is built with certainty. Most men talk. Few men move. Fewer still close the distance without asking, without announcing, without performing. That is where emotional security begins. That is where a mature woman feels chosen, not chased. So here is your challenge. Do not just listen. Apply it. The next time you are beside her, lead with calm confidence and let your actions speak before your mouth ever does. And if you are ready to be the man who creates closeness instead of waiting for permission, write this reminder for yourself. I close the distance with confidence. 7. The long hold hug. Now we come to the seventh touch, the one that carries more psychological weight than all the others combined, the long hold hug. And if you truly want to understand psychology tricks, female psychology, and how to fall in love in a way that lasts, you must pay attention here. Not a quick squeeze. Don't pat her back like she's your college buddy. Don't give her that awkward one-arm side hug that says you're halfway in and halfway out. Be decisive. Be present. This is a full embrace, both arms wrapped around her, chest to chest, steady and grounded, held for at least 20 seconds. That number is not romantic fluff. That is biology. Research published in Psychoneuroendocrinology shows that hugs lasting 20 seconds or more significantly increase oxytocin, the bonding hormone, while lowering cortisol, the stress hormone. That is not poetry. That is chemistry. Her heart rate slows. Her blood pressure drops. Her breathing deepens. Her nervous system shifts from fight or flight into rest and bond. In other words, her body moves into the only state where true emotional connection is possible. You must understand this. Attraction is not only visual, it is physiological. It is the nervous system saying, I am safe here. That is the core of female psychology. And if you ignore that, you miss the point entirely. Relationship therapists don't recommend extended hugging because it sounds sweet. They prescribe it because it works. Dr. John Gottman, after 4 decades of studying couples, has repeatedly emphasized prolonged physical holding as a practical tool for rebuilding trust. Not fantasy, not theory, practice, proven. When couples are in crisis, they are told to hold each other longer, not argue louder. That should tell you everything. Now think about a mature woman, 40s, 50s, beyond. She has lived. She has loved. She has lost. She has carried responsibilities quietly. She has held herself together when no one else did. She has mastered the art of composure. Don't assume she needs rescuing. She doesn't. But understand this. Strength does not cancel the human need for relief. Many mature women have become their own anchor because life required it. They learned not to lean, not to expect, not to show when they were overwhelmed. So when you hold her, really hold her, not for a polite moment, but for an unhurried, grounded embrace that silently communicates, I'm here and I'm not rushing away, something shifts. The walls she built out of necessity soften, not collapse. Soften. That is different. She does not feel overpowered. She feels supported. She does not feel consumed. She feels considered. And that is how to fall in love in a way that is chosen, not chased. Don't rush the release. Be still. Let her nervous system settle. Let her exhale. That exhale is everything. In modern life, everyone is in a hurry. Notifications, deadlines, obligations. Even affection has become quick and distracted. A long hold hug stands in contrast to that chaos. It says, right now, nothing else matters. That is rare. That is powerful. And power, when used with calm intention, creates trust. These are not manipulative psychology tricks. They're insights into how human bonding actually works. If you want a mature woman to fall deeply in love, don't focus only on excitement. Excitement fades. Focus on relief. Relief lasts. The greatest gift you can offer her is not intensity, but steadiness. Not fireworks, but warmth. When she realizes that your presence lowers her stress instead of raising it, that your arms feel like rest instead of pressure, she begins to associate you with safety. And in female psychology, safety is the gateway to devotion. Be the man who slows down. Be the man who holds firm without squeezing the life out of the moment. Be the man who understands that 20 seconds can change the emotional temperature of an entire relationship. Because when a woman feels she can finally stop bracing herself, even briefly, she does not just fall. She chooses. She opens. She invests. That is how to fall in love at a mature stage of life, through consistency, calm strength, and physical reassurance that speaks louder than clever words ever could. So don't underestimate the long hold hug. It is simple. It is quiet, but it is transformative. And if you master this, you will not just touch her body. You will touch her nervous system, her guarded heart, and the part of her that has been waiting, patiently, for someone who knows how to stay. Good to see you here, my friend. Now you understand something most men never take the time to learn. Real connection isn't built on money. It isn't built on flashy gestures. It's built on awareness, on intention, on slowing down and truly feeling the moment. These 7 touches only work when they come from a grounded, present man, not a rushed one, not a distracted one, a man who knows himself. Here's my sincere advice. Don't rush to use these touches. Master your presence first. A mature woman can feel the difference instantly. If your touch is calm, steady, and respectful, it creates safety. And safety creates depth. But if your energy is impatient or uncertain, she will pull away, no matter how perfectly you execute the technique. Remember this. Knowing how to touch her is only half the equation. You must also learn how to recognize when she is already opening up to you. She will show you. In small ways. In consistent ways. But only if you are paying attention. That's why the next video is essential. It will show you the 6 behaviors a woman displays when she has already decided she wants intimacy with you. If you miss those signs, you will miss the moment. And if you miss the moment, none of this matters. The video is on your screen right now. Click it, watch it carefully, and step into the kind of man who doesn't guess, he understands. I'll see you there.